Howdy, everybody out there in YouTube land. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing a variation of a card trick we all know, love, or have a love-hate relationship with. Here we have a black box of mystery. You all know it's a magic prop. That's okay. If we know it's magical, we'll revisit the properties later. First, we got to have a card selected. And the best way to do that is simply to go through the deck until you say stop. Sounds good? Right there, we got the 7 of clubs. What a decent card to have. Now, watch this. We're going to strip through the cards. Your card is lost. Let me know if you find your card. You might be able to see it flash in there. We go through the cards, we'll see that one card and one card only has turned red. And if we turn that over, that's your card. Here we go. Let's go ahead and put your card right there. Boom. Okay, now that that card's there, let's go ahead and just close that up real quick. Just like that. Done deal. That's locked down. Can't do anything with it. Now we're going to go through the cards here, and we just got to find one card. Let's just go with, here we go. We'll just go with the Black Joker. Black Joker, strip it down. Let's see if we can see that card change right before. Let's try one more. No, that's not working. That's not working. You know, let's start over. Let's go back to, your red card right here. Let's go right back to that. And, wait a minute. That's the Black Joker. And that is my version, or just a quick little fun version that I've been saving in my brain for months, right? So these decks belong to my brother David. And so I got them, and I've had this for a while, and I've wanted to do this version of the Chicago opener and kind of play around with it. So why don't we jump over into tutorial view? So here's what we're going to do. So we got the 7 of diamonds, okay, which is the card that goes into the deck. And then we've got the change out card. And the way that we're going to have that is we're going to put it face down into the flop, because we have this changeover, right? Beautiful little thing here goes into there. We're going to put the Black Joker face up onto the side. That way when we flip it over, it's going to be face down, because we want it to look the same as when we put the red 7 in here. We're going to have that open, okay? That way you can kind of visually look at it. Now, let's talk about my handling for the Chicago opener, which is what I would do if I were going to do the regular Chicago opener. I would stay away from the Hindu shuffle. Why is that? Because it doesn't really work for me. I like it, and I would use it maybe if I were doing more of a traditional thing, but it's not really going to do it for me every day. So then what we got to do is we got to do our normal Chicago opener, which we will teach that briefly here. Here we go. So we have our blue one on top, we've got our red one on bottom, and we've got our next force card, the Black Joker, right next to that one. Okay, first off, and you can do the regular Chicago opener like this if you prefer more of a style of just going into, like I do swivel cuts all the time. But here's the beauty of it. Do your force. Force that card with a slip cut if you want to do that. Okay, there's all sorts of ways that you can force that card. You can just pull it off into the center. Boom. Just get that card off to that point. That's all you got to do. Just get it off to there. Figure out how you want to do it. You can slip it off there, turn it over. Beautiful. So, here's what I recommend you do. If you want to do it more like this, you tell them when to stop. You pull that card here because you can flip it. You can drop it onto the floor. Beautiful magic right there. Okay. So, flip it over to here. That way you can turn it over. You can strip it out like that. Or, adversely to that, is doing something. You want it to look pretty natural. And making it look natural means that you can basically cut through the cards as much as you want to get to that card. Actually, did I do that? Here, let's try it this way. Slip force, bring it out, throw it on top, turn it over, cut the deck. Simple. Done deal. If I did that in the performance, great, because it's just straightforward. It's just a very straightforward thing. You've now cut everything to the center. So let's go back to here. 7 starts on top. Riffle down through the side until they say stop. Strip force, okay. You just let it sit out there as if it's from the center. Turn it over. They see it right there. Turn it back over. Cut to the bottom. That's the first. You want to do that. See, I'm getting ahead of myself in the sense that I feel like I did something a little bit different, because I feel like I did more like that, and then you could just drop it. So I think I may have messed up in the actual performance. So I think I need to revisit that idea, because that's what seems the most natural to me. So basically what you want to do is you want to do the best possible strip here that you can, not going too far because you don't want to cut into that red for that. But you want to get to the point where you can cut it right down into here and be able to flip it over. Oh, see, there it is. Okay, beautiful. So you can just do a simple cut halfway down the deck, turn over that packet, and then drop it on top. That's a done deal for you. Okay, so there's two different ways to do that. Okay, so if you want to do just a simple swivel cut, because it's as simple as just, let's go ahead and just tell me when to stop. Beautiful, right there. Halfway, sounds good. Let's go ahead and show you the top, don't say top card. Let's go ahead and show you that card. Good, finish the cut. Now you're going to do a running strip cut, and all you're going to try to do is preserve the middle of that packet, and you can do that as many times as you want, as long as you don't cut into the red card. So when you come into it, you should have this setup. 2 7s and the black joker, which is your actual force card. You're going to move that to the bottom. Execute a simple double undercut. Man, my brain, it's late. Just do a simple turnover, double turnover. Okay, and that's going to give you a red 7. Now, it doesn't matter because they're both the same. Okay, but you don't want to flash that. So it's a double, and the reason why you want to do a double, okay, is because you want to get rid of the 7. So the difference is, in a normal Chicago opener, is it would be the joker. But in this case, you're going to do a swap out for another red card. So by placing this into here, face down, they see the red card. You're just going to simply close that up, and you're going to flip it over. So when you open it, it's going to look the same, or it's going to fall on the floor. Either one's fine. Look at that. Magic. Quality content. Now you're ready to go for this setup. And here's what I do with that. I do my strip out, and I show the bottom card. It doesn't matter, because you're just gonna, all you say is, I'm just going to have a card selected. We're just gonna pick a card from the middle, and you can literally get down towards the bottom, and when you squeeze onto here like this, you can actually create some space to slide out the middle card, which is the bottom card, and all you're gonna do is do that. But what I would recommend, this is the similar thing to what I do with I do a retention double, as I call it, to do the swivel, and you retain the bottom 2 cards, or 3 or 4. It's a retention double. It's a retention of multiple cards. And it's great because there's coverage. So what I'll typically do is I'll do one big chunk like this, and then as I'm grabbing this, I'll come back to basically create my break. And then when I come back over, I square it up and I cover it up. So when I pull it out of the center, it looks like I just picked cards out of the center and not just grabbed it from the bottom. So when I turn it over and then I expose the fact that it's a completely different card, wow, it blows you away. So I'm using the same principle by basically grabbing a chunk, grabbing a second chunk, and instead of, by grabbing a second chunk instead of going all the way to the bottom, when I pull these out, then it kind of looks more like, because I'm doing it quickly, I'm just showing the bottom card, but it's like I'm grabbing a card out of the center, boom, drop it on top, doesn't matter, that card can just disappear now. We don't need that card. You can kind of play it off because it's already done. The card isn't showing up. What do I do? Wait a second, didn't we just put a red card in here? Boom, it's in this camera. we can open it up here and open it up and come over to here, or if you've got a crowd of people and that's the wrong way because it fell, remember? So then when you open it up, that's the point that I'm making though, is that you just put it in on this side. So if you were to open it up like this on this side, it means it was turned. So what you want to do is you want to kind of give it a twist, but the way that I do it when it's here, with one hand, because you got the deck in the other hand, and then you rotate it over to shut it down. So that way when you open it up the same way, it's on this. It might be on the opposite side there, but see that? That's the card. Because let's actually do this the right way. Put it in there like this, and then with one hand, you're closing it and twisting it, and then that's going to open up here, and that's going to be the same card. Wow, what's going on here? Oh, wow. Anyway, there it is. Okay, so that's the idea, that once you do the Chicago opener, we're just adding an extra layer to get the effect of this in here, because once you open this up and you show them this, it's a red card, you'd be like, oh, well, there's our red card, right? Boom. Black Joker. So what you're going to need for this trick is you're going to need, if you have one of these, you can probably make a little black box. You would need the reflector, but if you have one of these magic props, I recommend just using it for something like this. Make sure that it's face down because it looks the same either way. And if you give it a little turnaround, it literally opens up the same. Well, not if you do it that way. But if it's on this side here, it's on this side here. But if you just flip it over like that, it's going to create noise. So you just want to give it the idea. If you're doing it with one hand and you got the deck over here, you just, you're basically putting it here. You're closing it up to here because it's not going to make much noise there. And then by setting it back down on something, that's the click, it justifies that noise, and then you can go into your little thing there. So that is just a different version of the Chicago opener that you can use to add a little bit of a change with the back of the card, because normally you're doing like a quick change idea with the front of the card, and in this case it's the back of the card staying the same. It's a different card though. So enjoy that. Let's say for a second we're doing something a little bit different, because we do want to give you a little bit more to look at for this particular video. Let's say we were going to do the Chicago opener without doing the change. How would that look? Basically, the point of the Chicago opener is that these two cards would be the same, right? So you're going to want to stack those, and you're going to want to put the Black Joker on top. This is without using the box. This is with just doing the deal, right? So just cut right there like that. Boom, you're going to pick the Black Joker. You're going to do a running cut. You might even do it again. Snap your fingers. What does that do? Nothing. Just for misdirection, so you didn't see when I snuck the red card in there. Yeah, the red card, and that red card is actually the only card, if you actually do your double right, that's the only Black Joker in the deck, right? So if we just take that card and set that right down, we'll actually put it right over here. That's without using the black box. Now we just need to pick another card, right? So let's go ahead and have a card selected. That's going to be the 7 of diamonds. Let's do a run here. Boom. Wait a second. Wait a second. Hold on. Here we go. We got a red card right here, right? There we go. We got the red 7 right there. Okay, cool. And so that's the Chicago opener without doing the Hindu shuffle. That's just with a nice little swivel cut idea. Again, if you don't want to just do a simple swivel cut as a force, if you're not as comfortable, because this gives them the idea when you throw cards that you're a great magician, right? Practice, practice, practice. Stuff like that happens. If it happens, just play it off. Just have fun. That's how we're doing here. So you're doing the Hindu shuffle, and the idea is that you can stop anywhere, especially when it's actually the card that you want to stop at. Not that I meant the Black Joker. Anyway, then when you drop this on, your red card would be here, So just to reset that in a way, you're not even showing this card. But here's where I have a problem with that. When you come back over to here and you're doing this, okay, now you're putting this down here, and then now, just to quickly reset this idea of having the red 7 on the bottom now, just like it would be normally. Now you got to do the Hindu shuffle again, but then you have to figure out how to do what I just did, which is a technique I don't want to show you, or teach you, rather. But doing the Hindu, you have to do something fishy like that. And if you're not, I technically do this move for another thing that I'm more familiar with more gambler techniques. But basically, when you're coming in like this and you need to grab a card, you can just grab a card, do a push off, turn it over. That's pretty good. Turn it back over. Okay, so now we're all set. We're done deal. Okay, but that's part of the problem with that, is that if you're not familiar with that technique of being able to grab a card, which happens pretty simply. Grab card. Okay, you're basically just grabbing the bottom. Anyway, don't want to get too much into that. If you're still watching, great, I applaud you. Go ahead and subscribe, because you clearly like listening to me talk, just like I do. But then otherwise, like, you get to this point where you have to try to figure out how to do this wonkiness where you say, oh, well, last time we chose this card, why don't we go ahead and choose the bottom card? And it just doesn't feel right to me. So what I feel like this is more of something that I would do anyway, just doing something along that lines. And if you don't feel comfortable doing that, having like a packet and turning it over from the center, then just go all the way down to the bottom. Just go all the way down to the bottom, strip out your card. I'll do a close-up view here, over here. So you're just going to strip all the way down to the swivel, and as you come over for the last grab, you're just going to pull that center card out and flip it over and say, okay, we're just picking a card out of the center. Beautiful. Now you do your running cuts, you do whatever you need to do to pretend like you've lost the card, and of course that card has been on the table the whole time. Boom, Chicago opener. I love the idea of it. There's so many things that you can play around with the Chicago opener. And it's just fun. It is just plain fun. Yippee. Anyway, that's enough for me for today. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. And remember, always remember, stay positive, stay active, and stay awesome. And we'll see you in the next one.